Hi folks, so sparring. As anybody who knows me or knows about my club knows, we're big fans of sparring. We love sparring. We do as much sparring as we can. Sparring being what some people call fencing or free play or free fencing. There's various different terms. We use the term sparring. You know, we enter competitions and we love it. However, a cautionary note. I've noticed that in the historical fencing community there are a growing number of people who are, should we say, neglecting to actually look at sources or neglecting to go to classes of any kind and are just sparring. Now, is that a bad thing? No, of it by itself it's not a bad thing. People are free to do what they like and people do what they find is fun. So if the only thing that they enjoy is the sparring, then I guess that's what they're going to do. They're going to go and spar. However, what is the result? The result is we end up with a sword sport. Okay, it's not really connected to anything historical or in fact reality, because what you really do in sparring, what you should be doing in sparring in historical fencing, is testing the things that you're learning from the historical sources. Without the historical sources, really all you're doing is play fighting. You're doing a kind of role play, fantasy thing. You're using a simulated sword, not a real sword, because it's not sharp and you're not trying to kill anyone with it, and you're play fighting. Now, there's nothing wrong with play fighting, it's good fun, but it's quite far removed in mindset from actual martial arts. The point of studying historical sources is these guys were there, they did it, they used sharp swords, or at least they prepared to use sharp swords, with the possibility of having to one day use them to protect their life or take someone else's. So what they teach in these books and what they talk about is something that's of a time where swords were a very real and very relevant weapon. And for me, that's why I study these sources. I'm really drawn to that, trying to understand what it is to really use a sword as a weapon. I'm actually not that drawn to the idea of just fighting with nylon swords or blunt steel swords as a kind of modern sport by itself, because where does that lead us? It will only ever lead us to being better at playing to the rules that we set for that sport. Now, when I run competitions or take part in competitions, my expectation is that the rules should be there to encourage and foster and judge good martial mindset and historical technique. If we're just doing a modern sword sport, then why have realistic rules at all? Why not just make whatever rules we like? Okay. If we do that, we just move back to modern sport fencing or kendo again, which is, I've done both of those, and frankly that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is something that's more like a real sword-based martial art or weapon-based martial art. So what I want to say to conclude is, if you only spar, what you will really get good at is sparring under whatever conditions you set for sparring. You won't necessarily be a better martial artist for it unless you're also studying the sources and training with people who have that mindset of using a sharp sword and what that's really about and what it means. Thank you.